Welcome to another episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your man Eddie out now, my man G Wick.
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up. Week
Man.
13 tip.
Man.
Cardiac Titans again.
Cardiac Titans again, man. Dude.
Huh?
Dude,
One game at a time, man.
One game at a time, man. You have to give them credit, man, because in all honesty, I'll be the first one to admit I was hoping, but I really didn't expect a whole lot, and I got definitely more than what I expected.
The game started out kind of funny, man, but it was again, it's been true to form here except for last week.
Yeah.
The last few weeks before Jacksonville, where the game came down to a few plays.
Yeah.
And toward the end of the game in particular.
Well, the thing about it, if you notice, really in the last few games, in all honesty, and really going back to, I would say, probably the Kansas City game, there's a lot of big plays happening. I mean, big plays are happening, and for once they're happening on the Titans side, man, and they're making big plays, whether it be defensive, offensive, or special teams. We're just seeing a full team effort all the way across. And I mean, everybody's making plays, everybody's playing hard, so it's really strong, and it's amazing to me, man. It's fun to watch. Let's just be honest about it. It's fun to watch because you see a team that's actually starting to pull things together more so than what we really expected.
Right.
In all honesty. So, like you said, one game at a time, and we're just seeing it flow.
Right, and you emphasized this a minute ago, a full team effort.
Absolutely.
Which, we had early in the year, we didn't see that. We saw one side of the ball, mainly defense, playing the best football. But now it seems like the team is coming together. This is the time you want to come together. This point of the year,
absolutely.
You're going for your playoff run, your stretch run to get to the playoffs, and ride that momentum into the playoffs, man. And it's good football to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the bottom line is, when you stop and think about it, it goes back to what we've been saying all season. Mm-hmm. The game is really simple.
You block,
run the ball,
that's right.
Play good defense, be efficient with your passing game. Just do the small things. It's really that simple, and you see that's what's happening. The Beast ran hard again today. He had a little hiccup at the beginning,
He did, first play of the game.
But he came back and just took over.
Right, and took over, and so, like you said, man, it was a overall team effort, all facets of the game, and you can't say enough. And the team is nicked up.
Oh yeah.
We suffered a few injuries during this game. Somebody mentioned Adoree'. He did hurt his ankle.
Yeah, so but no word on how extensive that is yet.
But that'll go into we're gonna get into it, because that's gonna go into my next topic about the depth on this team that we've been talking about for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And you see it come to fruition.
Yeah. And when you see it, what's happening is basically what you always say, especially in the NFL. It's always next man up.
Always next man.
So you got to come in there ready to play, ready to make plays. And what we saw today was some of the guys who had not been playing, who really had not been on the team. Right. They stepping up and making plays.
So let's get into it, bro, because we got a lot to talk about. This was an exciting game. Some things that we want to see. Of course, we're going to exercise that Colt demon, right? Going into Indianapolis, 1-11 on their field. Yeah,
and Lucas Oil Stadium.
Man. It's just been a tough place to play.
Man, it's been rough. I mean, and that's the reason why I was so, people were asking me what they think we were going to do, and I'm like, well, I'm hoping we play good, but as far as winning, I won't say, because, I want us to win, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But, it's going there, man. And the way the game started out, dude, you thought, here we go again.
Yeah, it just, Derrick Henry back-to-back games with fumbles now, man, and there's something that's uncharacteristic of him for the most part. And if you looked at it, he got the ball away from his body on that carry and easily punched out. So, hopefully, we'll see him starting to tuck that ball away a little bit more, because people gonna start going after that ball.
Actually, now that they know they've been watching, you see that it's happening too often.
That's right.
Absolutely, he's gonna start protecting the ball more. I mean, he's always been good at it, but here lately, like I said, everybody's reaching for the ball. They're trying to strip. Again, it's playoff football.
It's playoff
football.
Exactly right.
And so you're learning on the fly, and you're learning you got to take care of the ball, man.
Right, and so this team has got to learn how to win, which you got 3 straight wins now. that's been a question in the past few seasons, being 9-7. Girl, could they get over that hump? Could they learn how to win those tight games where the ball wasn't bouncing their way and get some breaks? And like you said earlier, they're starting to catch some breaks.
Yeah, they're starting to catch some breaks, man. I mean, they had the funny thing about it, man, this was one of those games where you saw a lot of things happen. Let's get into it, man. We got to start.
Let's go.
Because a lot of things happened in the second half that negated a lot of the negativity. The double negative that happened in the first half. The first half, dude, it was killing me.
So some things I want to look at today, Grover, as we get into this. So Henry run. Derrick Henry came in at 991 yards rushing, fifth in the NFL. We knew, when he's got an interesting stat on it. You probably already noticed, getting 25 or more carries a game. They 18 plus carries a game. They're 11-1 since 2016. Yeah. So very telling stat there. You run the ball with the beast, you get good results.
We've been saying it for the past 2 years, man. Run the beast, feed the beast, and really that's what happened. Mm-hmm. You see that ever since, in all honesty, since the Carolina game.
Right.
They've been making a concerted effort to give Derrick Henry the ball, and to his credit, he's not waiting to the second half to run the ball aggressively. He's running hard in the first half, and even though he's like today he started off with a bad play, but really he came on and kept, and they never abandoned the run.
That's right.
That was the other thing. They never abandoned it. So that was what was important about that.
That's right, Butchie, and I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. There was a key play to Deion Lewis. Deion Lewis actually played pretty good today for the most part. He whiffed on a cut block on the blitz one time and got Tannehill sacked, but for the most part he made some plays that counted in the game.
Well, and again, he's understanding his role. Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is, like we said, you got to understand. The team had to understand this. Like, Derrick Henry is the man.
He is the man.
He's the key and everybody knows it. You saw Indy; they were putting 9 in the box. They were putting 8 in the box. So everybody knows Derrick Henry is the key to our team.
Right.
But the bottom line is, when Deion Lewis comes in, he gives you something that, they threw a nice screen pass to him. He comes in, he's good at blocking. So he's understanding his role and doing his role. He's not expecting to do more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's really key for Deion Lewis. So his role is he's understood. It seems like Arthur Smith is understanding his role and not, because like I said, that Carolina game when they said they made a concerted effort to try to get him involved, we're like, why?
Right. Exactly. So one other interesting stat I thought was pretty key about Derrick Henry: 115 rushing yards a game and 6 touchdowns since week 7. Yeah. Which gives him the most in the NFL in those categories. So man, the guy's having a great season. He's at 1,140 yards after this game. So well on his way to. Of course, this is already a career high for his rushing total.
Yeah. Well, he could easily get 13. It depends on the teams he's playing and how well he runs the ball.
That's right.
He could easily end up between 1,300 and 1,500 yards for the season.
Easily. So we'll see if that keeps going. So the next thing I want to see was Tannehill's success. 4-1 CC has been a starter with this football team.
Right.
Second best QB rating, a 72% completion rate. He's been playing lights out football.
Yeah, but he struggled in that first half.
He did struggle in the first half. He held on to the ball a little long,
which is what we've been saying for the past few weeks. And that's the thing about it. I mean, but again, one of the things we always said about him and Mariota, they're similar quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And it's typical of quarterbacks who can run.
Right.
They tend to hold the ball longer, hoping for a play to happen. Mm-hmm. And really for him, I'm gonna blame part of it was on him.
Yeah.
Part of it was on Arthur Smith and the way he was calling the game.
Right.
Because you're trying to get a guy to hold the ball, wait for these long patterns to develop. And the offensive line, your offensive line, as far as pass blocking for those long plays, it just wasn't fitting right. So, the offensive line, they almost regressed all the way back this time.
You're right. And somebody brought that up. The offensive line looked suspect today. They were saying the Colts were running a lot of twist stunts in the middle of the field. Yep. Jabari Sheard, and they were just Ben Jones, Nate Davis, not passing off the block. Right. And Saffold doing the same thing. Yeah. So it was like you said, it was partly Tannehill, partly offensive line, and partly the play calling as well.
It was all three, in all honesty, and that was the problem you ran into. And again, that was the problem we ran into in the beginning of the season as well.
Right.
And the thing about it, what you like today, what we saw today, really, halftime adjustments, man.
Halftime adjustments, that's right.
Adjustments, man.
Nice shout out.
That's what I'm saying. Halftime adjustments.
So the other thing I wanted to see if we could contain Jacoby Brissett, because the last time we played him, he slipped out of every sack we had on the guy. He had a decent day. I didn't like the coverage early in the game. The DPs was playing a lot of zone. Then he started playing some man. And you know what? I'm going to give him his credit. And I was going to mention it later, but I'm going to give DPs his credit because he ran some different exotic blitzes this game.
Absolutely.
Which was, to me, was very, very welcome. It was stuff that he hadn't shown yet.
Well, here's the thing that really I was impressed with DPs, and I give him this because again we're talking to them between the second half and the first half.
Right.
But in the second half,
yes,
you what you saw was that he stayed aggressive with the defensive play calling because in the first half he was still doing the same thing he always does, especially on 3rd and long. You only rush 3, you play zone, and you were giving him way too much time. In the second half, he stayed aggressive, got after him, and made him throw the ball. And that's the key. By getting after him, you make him throw the ball quicker, and the ball goes shorter, and you give your defense time enough to come up and make the tackle.
Right, and that falls into another point I was looking at. Arthur Smith and his play calling. The coach got a good defense, 13th ranked overall.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so, they know how to get out the quarterback. They don't make a lot of mistakes in that Tampa 2 defense that we talked about before, and they got a great middle linebacker, which you need in the Tampa 2 and Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
And so they're all over the field, like a lot of speed, and it was a tough matchup coming in. And we knew it was going to be tough.
Absolutely. And again, that was the scary part about it was because the fact of the matter is that defense is good, but what we saw though, in all honesty, what we saw again, it's a maturation process for Arthur Smith in the fact that this is the second time he had to play the team, and you saw the difference in the play calling that he did today as opposed to what happened back in September.
Right. Somebody mentioned earlier about Tannehill. Even though he was getting sacked, he was still getting rid of the ball. He kept his composure.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he was getting hit and was getting rid of the ball. Something that we didn't see in the first matchup when they was getting out to Mariota. And even when Mariota was still the starting quarterback on his football team.
Right.
We see him panic and get quick feet and hold the ball longer than he needed to, right?
Right, exactly.
And so that's one more thing I want to look at. So Santosis, right? So we get another kicker, 6'5", this guy's huge, right? Kicking the ball through the upright on kickoffs.
But and the thing about it is what you saw really with him is the fact that that's what they got him for.
Yeah.
Because you in the NFL, the best that you can do right now, especially if your defense is playing good, kick the ball through the end zone. That way you're not risking a return for a touchdown or anything like that, or somebody getting hurt on kickoff coverage.
Right.
But the main thing was what you saw was the fact that it took pressure off of Sucker.
It did take
because now he doesn't have to worry about doing kickoffs, and now he doesn't have to worry about doing the long field goals.
Right.
So you saw today he only had to kick one.
Right.
But he was right down the pipe with that.
Right down the pipe. And so, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Adi Arnell, G-Wit. Thank you for the comments, the questions. Keep them coming. And let's move on, Grover. So the Titans get the ball first, as we said.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry fumbles the ball.
Yeah.
The Colts come back and they drive it down the field and go up by 7. Jack Doyle
obviously a blown
24-yard pass. Yeah, blown coverage because he was wide open. Rashad Evans got caught up they were looking for a crossing route. He came back and underneath drag wide open.
But it just shows you how they run their offense. Jack Doyle is playing good in that offense and everything. Frank Reich does a lot of good things.
He does, man. They got an outstanding offensive line. They got a good running game, one of the tops in the NFL. And like you said, it was going to be a tough game, and we had to hang in there regardless of how many punches they threw early on.
But here's the thing that you like about it, though. That happened.
That's right.
What happened on the next series?
That's what I was about to say, man. I'm going to tell you, I was really impressed, and I was going to bring it up later, but since you've already brought it, let's talk about it. The response by the team, every time they took a blow, they gave one back.
Exactly right.
And they drove the ball down the field, 11 plays, 75 yards, almost 6 minutes. I mean, beautiful drive. Yeah. Good play calling, good mixture of plays. Yeah. And Adam Humphries, man.
Well, and you saw a couple of things, too, in that drive. What did they do? They went no huddle.
Changed the pace of the game.
They went hurry up, got in a rhythm early.
Right.
So when you do things like that, then you're able to get your offense going. You get a flow. Everybody get the juices flowing. You make a few conversions and everything. And what you saw early in that game, too, was our third down conversion rate. Right. We were running like about 75% at that time, which is great on third down.
That's right. And that particular drive, they were 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Compared to 1 for 10 in the first time we played the Colts. So, I mean, it's a complete turnaround for this offense with Tannehill at quarterback. And you see the rhythm and how the offense has opened up.
Exactly right.
The running, the passing. So, able to utilize these weapons. And somebody mentioned, where's Corey Davis in the offense? So, Corey Davis had a couple of targets today and, dropped one. Yeah, I still got confidence in Corey Davis. You know, so I was hearing the commentators kind of doubting was he worth the first round pick. You got to think about what the situation was at first. You have Marcus playing the way Marcus was playing and not really spreading the ball around. He had a good season last year, Corey Davis.
Yeah.
This year, you know, he's just kind of the offense was sputtering.
Yeah.
And I mean, the truth of the matter is, and so now that everybody's getting into the mix, I think he's still a reliable threat for this football team.
I agree with you, man. I think you know. I think the problem you have with Corey Davis, in all honesty, is the fact that he was the number 5 pick in the draft.
Right. So everybody's expecting.
So everybody's expecting more.
Yeah.
And truth of the matter is, he's expecting more, and so are the Titans expecting more out of him. But what you find out is that what they've done, though, again, is what we said after the draft.
Right.
The receiving core.
Yeah.
Is so strong that the ball gets spread out. Where last year, where Corey Davis was one of the main targets, especially after Delaney went down, this year you're finding out that they're more or less making sure they got him covered, which is leaving, you know, Brown 1-on-1 or leaving Humphries 1-on-1. And so you see a lot of things happen. It's just the same thing. If you want to go back and look at what's going on with Jonnu Smith, he had a couple of good games, and then for the last few games, he has hardly been targeted because he's been covered and everything. It's just the way the offense is flowing. And what you like about it is the fact that no one person is being, you know, for lack of a better term, the main target. It's just whoever gets open. Tannehill is throwing it to the open man.
And it's really giving the defense something to think about because they can't really focus on one particular player. Right?
You can if you focus on one player, the other two can beat you.
Like, the difference between 17 and 18 is pocket PTSD.
This is true. This is very true.
That is true.
Like we said before, unfortunately for the Titans, you know, Mariota was shook.
Yeah, he was shook.
And bottom line, he had hit David Carr's status, and he was shook. Ryan Tannehill is not there. He's actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's what you like to see. Like you said, he took some sacks, you know, but when you talk about it, they didn't come in waves.
Right. They didn't come in waves.
And you know, they had 5 sacks in the first half, but they only had 1 in the second half.
Right.
So that means everybody really sharpened up their game.
They made some adjustments at halftime.
Halftime adjustments, baby.
Jabbar, great point. Corey Davis blocking is underrated. He made some outstanding blocks today. His run blocking is very, like you said, underrated.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's in the good part of his game. Nobody really talks about it.
Well, they don't like talking about it because he was the number 5 pick. That's the problem they have. You know, I heard somebody mention, like, you don't want to say the best characteristics of your number 5 pick is that he's the best blocking receiver you got.
Right.
You know, I understand that. I really do.
Yeah.
But what people fail to realize about it is that he really is a core complement to the entire team.
That's right.
And he's leading by example, in all honesty, because he's coming out there working. And what you're finding is that every receiver is blocking well. Even A.J. Brown is blocking well.
Adam Humphries
He's
is doing a lot of chipping.
Everybody's blocking well. So he's leading by example. So he's a full complementary player. Is he being used to the utmost? Is he being like a Julio Jones who's getting the ball like every series or whatever? No, he's not doing that. But the Titans don't want to do that.
Right, because you got to think about this team. This team is built around Derrick Henry running the football. And so, you know, you gotta run block first and you catch the ball second.
Exactly.
But when your number is called, you gotta make the play. You gotta make the play.
And 9 times out of 10 when you find out about these guys is they're making the catches.
Yeah, exactly right. So Indianapolis gets the ball back. Vinatieri kicks a 55-yard field goal. No good. Again, playing a lot of zone coverage. Correa was in the coverage a lot today.
I know. It's kind of weird.
That was weird because we know that's not his strong suit.
No, his strong suit is playing the run.
That's right. And rushing the pass in some situations.
And really, it was kind of hard to figure out what was going on with the Colts because they took Williams out the game.
They did.
And never played him again.
And never gave a good excuse a reason why they took him out of the game.
But you also notice another thing, too. They focused more on passing against us this time as opposed to running the ball.
Right.
You know, now granted, our run defense was playing great.
Yeah.
The guys were making the tackles and everything, but they were focusing more on passing the ball today than they were running.
I will agree with you, Darius. A.J. Brown is probably the most explosive receiver right now. The reason why he's getting more of the looks and probably taking some of the balls away from Corey Davis. But again, I think he's still a reliable threat on this team.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be that way going forward as the rest of the season plays out. And so Tennessee gets the ball back. Of course, there's a strip sack Orsi Kersey, he rushes. So Tannehill sees the blitz, right? And he could have tucked the ball away a little bit better, but it is what it is. It happens. But the defense stands up, right?
They step up
and force them to another field goal, which is blocked by Austin Johnson. Gets a hand on the ball, which at the time, I didn't even realize that the Titans have blocked the most kicks in the NFL this year. Have you realized that?
Well, no, I didn't know that because how often do we see that?
You don't.
I mean, let's be honest about it, man. They said we blocked the most. We're like up in we're either 1 or 2 in block kicks, and I'm like
the most outside of the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, who knew? one of those stats within the game that you don't even think about, especially with us the way we were playing at the beginning of the season. But you're starting to see a lot of things come to fruition because of that, and we're going to talk about that later on.
Yeah, and you see, it goes to the point that we talked about earlier: a full complement from every phase of this football team. Special teams, you got Brett Kern. You got Khalif Raymond returning the ball good. Yeah. You got Adam Humphries returning punts.
Making good decisions.
You got field goal blocks.
Right.
You got the running game going, and you got a passing game now. This is what you want the team to be doing this time of year.
Absolutely.
Getting into the final stretch, making that playoff.
Because it's about to get interesting, man.
It's about to get very interesting. So again, on that series right there where the field goal was blocked, there was some more disguising of the blitz.
Yeah.
That was a perfect blitz. Jacoby Brissett thought he had the blocking set up on the right side of the field. I mean, it was perfectly hit by Logan Ryan because he stayed up, manned up on his man, right? They didn't. He didn't
give no indication of what he was going to do.
He didn't even see him, and they dropped the linebacker in coverage and took away that quick look. And he didn't even see Logan Ryan at the last minute, man. Yeah. Brilliancy by Pease. I know we've been giving him a hard time the last few weeks about running these same vanilla defenses, blitzes.
Well, these soft defenses is what it was.
And that too.
Yeah.
But you got to give him credit today.
Oh yeah, he came with it today.
He changed it up and
he came with it today.
And caught Jacoby off guard a lot of the game. So the Titans get the ball back, another sack. Derrick Henry had a pretty good drive going. He had a carry for 8 and then for 9 yards.
Yeah.
Corey Davis drops a ball that could have got a third short first down, right?
Yeah.
And Deion Lewis misses a block on the sack, and so another punt.
Yeah.
And so it goes back and forth, right?
Right. So they end up coming down the field, getting a field goal. Before halftime, we had a chance to move the ball down the field.
That's right.
And was moving the ball pretty good. Then back-to-back sacks.
Right.
Take us out. So then you punt, and then they take a knee, they go out, and then halftime 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7. So, guys, again, thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie on there, G Witt.
Yeah.
Special teams to see most confusing call. That was a confusing call, Will, and I have to admit, man, because they called it incomplete, and they called it a catch, and they called it a fumble.
Here's the thing, and I thought the commentator for the referees finally made the good explanation because what they came back and said, after the review and everything happened, the call on the field stands.
Yep.
Now what the commentators like Rich Gannon and what they didn't understand was the fact that they were looking at it because they said in the review it was a catch and a fumble,
right? But
there was no clear recovery,
right?
So in that regard, then the call on the field is what stood.
Yeah.
So basically, I understood that because when he came back. He said the call on the field stands.
He did say
so
that.
The call on the field was an incomplete catch. So that's why they stuck with that because there was no clear recovery. So I when he said that, because they were going back and forth, but they called it a catch. Why was the ball pulled at the 40 if it wasn't a complete recovery? And they're like, no, there was no complete recovery because if you think about it, the whistle blew.
That's right.
Because Jonnu Smith then tried to pick the ball with one hand. He just let it go.
Right, Jabbar, 2 for 2 because he came into game 1 for 7. So you got to give it up for him, man.
Hey,
Here's some great calls, some great challenges. Right?
Again, I say things were going our way in the second half because that does not happen, especially at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Especially at Lucas Oil Stadium
it
against
just
that
doesn't
football
happen.
team right there. So halftime, the Colts up 10-7. The difference in the first half are the sacks and the turnovers. Right?
Yeah,
5
absolutely.
sacks, 2 turnovers.
Tannehill
fumble, Henry fumbles. Derrick Henry had a good first half, 11 carries, 63 yards.
Yes. Running the ball extremely well.
And the Colts get the ball, the second half coming out, and they drive right down the field. And, hey, man, and go up 17-7. I'm like, man,
here we go. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right. Some more soft zone coverage. Jacoby had a lot of time in the pocket for the most part. You know, Harold Landry did pick up his 9th sack. That was good on the drive. And,
absolutely.
And so, want to see again if the team was going to respond. And, man, you can't ask for anything better. 8 plays, 75 yards.
Hey, man. The Beast ran, man.
The Beast ran.
The
Beast ran hard. 13-yard touchdown.
And that 34-yarder probably would have been a touchdown if he doesn't miss the guy with the stiff arm.
Yeah. You got to give it up for Hooker, man. That was a great tackle. Malik Hooker. Great tackle. Great going out his legs. Because most people make the mistake to try to go high and eat that stiff arm. He's gone down the field. So,
but at the same time, what you find out is that they moved the ball and everything, even though we gave up another sack on the drive.
Yeah.
You know, you come back, short passes and everything, and then, of course, 4th and 1. Again, let's be honest about it. I was with agreement with Vrabel on the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, at that time, it's a 4th and 1. You definitely go for it.
And you run the ball good.
And you're running the ball good.
Yeah.
You go for it.
Yeah.
You run the ball. Derrick Henry bounces it outside, taking 13 yards. The stiff arm gets in there this time.
Yeah.
Dude tries to grab his hand. He flips off of him, spins, goes into the end zone, touchdown.
17-14, Colts of the Titans score. Derrick Henry, 11 rushing touchdowns on the year. David, I agree with you, man. I think the defense is more aggressive because they know they got an offense now that can score 30 points.
Absolutely.
Right? The offense can score 30 points easy. It's put up 42 last week, 35 the week before that.
We've been averaging 29 points a game, man. I mean, that's football winning offense.
That is football winning offense. You're right. Like you said on the drive, Derrick Henry, 7 yards, 34 yards, 6 yards, 13 yards. So they were feeding him. He was successful. And the offensive line was blocking well.
Absolutely. But again, like we said before, this is a power run offensive line.
Right.
You start them run blocking. Hey man, that's what they love. That's what they do well.
That's right, Courtney. I agree again. A very good point. The special teams are going to need to continue to play at this level.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're going to make the playoff push and make the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right, Taylor. Tannehill does bring the juice because he's got the offense moving.
Oh man, he does.
And that's what you like about him. You feel like the offense has a rhythm. You feel like the offense always has an opportunity.
Right.
You know, even though we was down 17-7, you know, you're looking at it like, okay, offense, like you said, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
What do? They come back and answer. And then all of a sudden the next drive, the defense steps up.
The mayor.
The mayor of Murfreesboro shows up again. Of course, Harold Landry forces the pass.
Harold Landry, good pressure
up the middle and everything. Jacoby Brissett throws the pass, overthrows it. The mayor is right there to pick it off. Good run back. And we ended up getting a field goal out of that. Now, I was a little upset about the field goal.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
You know,
Go ahead, speak up.
Well, here's the thing about it. I understand on the first play you want to run the ball, but to me, that would have been the perfect time for play action rollout. You know, you probably got a good pass out of it.
Right.
But, you know, it's just one of them things.
If I had anything to complain about Alden Smith today, it was that drive.
Yeah.
Too conservative. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think they were looking at it from the standpoint we're running the ball good.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw that, but the bottom line is I think because they were so gung-ho about stopping Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Again, that would have been a great time for play action. But you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda. You know, hey, you know, the thing about it, what I liked about it was Tannehill on that third down play, he did not take a sack. He got rid of the ball.
You're exactly
and
right.
That's the whole key. That shows you progression as far as what he was doing. Because the Wildcat was really questionable. I didn't like that call.
I agree with you, man. Like I said, I didn't. That was the only thing. My only complaint about the play call was that particular series right there.
Yeah.
Too conservative when you got an opportunity to put your foot on the throat and keep pressing the gas, man, and take this team out. Because, you know, they were already backs against the wall. We didn't hit them. They hit us. We hit them. We hit them back.
We hit them back to back, man.
Because we came back, we answered right after that, you know.
The thing about it, we went down. They were up 17-7.
Yeah.
We come down, score a touchdown.
That's right.
The very next series, the mayor steps up, we get an interception. We're back down in the red zone. So, their back was against the wall.
Plagiarism, bro. We know who that is, the Skins. I appreciate you, Taylor, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man.
So after about 4 consecutive punts between the teams, you know, two for each team.
Yeah.
Here's another key moment in this game for me, Grover. So Indianapolis takes over the ball in the fourth quarter with a little bit over 11 and some change in time. Mm-hmm. Had the ball for 6 minutes in the game. Driving down the field. Really taking the momentum, taking the air out of the football. You know, eating the clock up, thinking, hey, we're going to go down and at least get a field goal, eat this clock up, play defense. Our defense is good.
Yep.
But special teams, once again, come to, I don't know if I've seen stuff happen like this before. this team, man.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. I'm seeing them line up, and I'm like, I'm thinking my thought process is that it's 46 yards.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri is possibly gonna miss the kick.
Okay.
We're gonna get a good field position.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You brought it up earlier about where we are with blocking kicks and everything.
Who knew?
And here's the thing here's where now people, this is how film study and game study goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Bottom line was they lined up for the field goal. Kalu is on the outside again.
And what did they notice?
What did they notice about Kalu? They know this guy gets a good jump on the ball. Yep. He's right there in the midst.
Right.
So the offensive lineman sees him.
Yep.
Knows the bottom line is I don't want to let this guy get around me.
That's right.
Which is a mistake on his part.
Yep.
Because as Rich Gannon pointed out in the game, you block inside out.
That's right.
Because the inside guy has the shortest path
That's right.
to the ball.
That's exactly right.
The man reaches out to try to make Kalu take a wider stance, wider run.
Yeah.
And he leaves the inside open.
Dane
Cruikshank plays it perfectly.
That's right.
Blocks it with two hands.
Yep.
The ball hits him in the body, bounces off his leg. Ty Smith catches it. First he looks confused. But once he saw it,
takes it to the house.
Kalu was like, let's go. And man, it was like, and I give the one thing I like about Ty Smith, and this was just funny to me. I'm sorry, it's just funny when they show the replay and they show him running with his facial expression.
Yeah.
All he's thinking about, if you're gonna catch me, you gotta get me from behind because I'm not slowing down.
That's right.
That brother was running.
That brother was running.
He was running.
Yeah,
and he was like,
right.
He didn't look back. If you notice the replay, he didn't look back until he got in the end zone.
That's right. That's right, exactly. Taylor, that's a great point. The Titans are playing like they expect to win now. It's a culture change. Yeah. And it all started with the change of the quarterback.
Absolutely.
That's a minute.
Because Vrabel had to make that change.
He did.
He had to make that change.
He had to. And so, Dane, let's talk about Dane Cruikshank a little bit because he hadn't really had a lot of success getting on the field, but special teams like we mentioned.
Well, he's a special team.
That's right. That's
bottom line. He's a special team, and the bottom line is, as we found out, as you're looking at this team, we have a special team group that actually they believe in what they're doing.
That's right.
They do a great job. I mean, think about last week.
Yeah.
There was every kickoff that we had last week was short, and the guy was able to return it, and we had great coverage.
Great coverage.
Because the bottom line is what these guys are seeing, somebody like Darren Bates, who's a key special teamer.
Right.
You see he's making his living in the NFL playing special teams.
Yep.
So Dane Cruikshank, Joshua Kalu, they know. We play good special teams. We got a career in the NFL. There's nothing wrong with having a career in the special team category. Because when you can Don Beebe.
That's right.
When you can make plays on special teams are gonna come after you. That's right, Jabbar. He caught the ball off his foot.
He blocked it with his chest.
I mean, it was like a great block. Because when I saw it, I was thinking, okay, we're gonna recover the ball. But when I saw that Ty Smith caught it, I'm like, go.
That's right.
And you saw Joshua Kalu.
He's like, man, I'm right here with you.
He's right here with you. Let's run. And he's running behind him. He's the one looking around like there's nobody here. That's why he spread his arm like this is 6.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
scored.
That's right.
Man, great. It was a great special teams play.
And so 24-7, take the wind out of the sail for the Colts for the most part.
You saw what happened.
The fans were gone. It was a pretty good amount of time still.
It was like, y'all were leaving kind of early.
Right.
I mean, they just flat out walked out the door. And I was like, man. So, the Colts get the ball back.
Right. It made me think about, before we go there, it made me think about when I went to that Falcons game and they started leaving there and I was stood up and said, where y'all going? The game's not over yet. Don't hurry. Come back.
Man, look, I mean, I got to laugh about this because we went to the Colts and we beat them, man.
That's right.
I mean, like I said, things went our way. It's just amazing to me how things went our way.
And, and that's the difference in between the last couple seasons at 9-7. Those small breaks are starting to fall our way.
Exactly
for
right.
A change.
I mean, a block field goal return for a touchdown.
2 block field goals.
2 in one game.
In one game.
2. I mean, come on, man.
And then Logan Ryan, like you said, you missing the next series that Indy had. Logan Ryan comes with his 4th pick.
Yep.
And then This is what I expect every time you get a turnover.
Well, see, we saw this against Jacksonville.
That's right.
We saw this against Jacksonville. You go for the throat. I mean, Derrick Henry's running the ball well. You got 3rd and 6.
Yep.
But here's the thing, though. This is why we was talking about with Arthur Smith, the change in the play call. Mm-hmm. Because what does he do? Play action, roll out, and Tannehill had time.
That was a great call.
But he had kept a tight end out there to block for him.
He did.
And the guy made a good block. Anthony Firska makes a good block, keeps the defensive end off of Tannehill, and gives Khalif Raymond time enough to run his pattern. Great throw.
Outstanding route.
Great layout for the catch.
That's right.
And way to keep the ball in and not let the ball fumble. Next thing you know, that's really you up by 2 scores. And with the way the defense was playing, because what happens after that is that you see that Dean Pease kept the pressure on.
He did.
He did not let up. You still had a 4-man rush, and until it got to the point to where he was just trying to make sure one guy you shadow Jacoby Brissett, don't let him run.
Yeah, and he kept him in the pocket.
And kept him in the pocket.
And that was the game plan. So David, that's pretty safe. That block made him waste his drink. So,
well, if there's a reason to waste a drink, that's one.
So I want to bring up this because Jabbar brought this up, man. It was a good point you just made. So these undrafted free agents over these last couple of years, man, are paying off. Yeah. You got Ty Smith. Ty Smith was balling last year, remember, before he got hurt. We saw a lot of him last year and saw him today. He played outstanding game.
Don't forget about the key play on that last drive.
That's right. That's what I was about to mention.
To come up and punch the ball out.
That's exactly right.
Punches the ball out. And here's the thing about it, and this is the thing that you see how this is why good coaching comes into play.
Yeah, cool.
All right, no, seriously, what happened, you think about it, A.J. Brown fumbles the ball.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith has a chance to recover it. Mm-hmm. He hears the whistle. He doesn't pick it up. Because the bottom line is, if Jonnu Smith drops on the ball, Frank Reich doesn't challenge it at all. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have to go through that whole long, drawn-out explanation.
Right.
You saw this time, Ty Smith punches it out. The referee is running up talking about he's down.
Correa
and you said Correa gets on. But because you think about it, the mayor and somebody, I can't remember who it was, they went for the ball, missed it, and then
it was Hooker.
Yeah, Hooker. And Correa falls on the ball. When he falls on the ball, all of a sudden now you see Vrabel throws the review flag out to the middle of the field, gets a review, it's a fumble, boom.
No, Taylor, what we're saying is we did a good job. The scouts did a good job scouting these guys because, like you said, over the last couple of years, these undrafted free agents, Ty Smith, you got Joshua Kalu, you got Kareem Orr, who played a lot of minutes today. Yeah. You at one point you had Ty Smith and Kareem Orr on your corners. You had Logan Ryan in the slot today, playing a lot of critical minutes in this fourth quarter. You just see these guys next man up, right? Everybody's playing their responsibility, doing their job, exactly what you're supposed to do, and the team has been successful.
Well, and again, you see what you see a lot of, and a lot of people were doubting John Robinson, but what we said was, this team probably has more talent on it than we've seen
early in the year. Go back and watch the tape.
Yeah, we said this. They had more talent on this team than what we've seen. I know since 2008, and I would say even longer than that. Because they've had a lot of talent and everything. And again, it took a while for it to come together. It all goes back to the quarterback change. Because the bottom line was that what was going on before that. You saw the team was not believing in it, and now you see the maturation of Arthur Smith as a play caller.
Right.
He's making changes. You see Dean Smith making adjustments. Gene Pease making adjustments. You're seeing Mike Vrabel not making the same type of coaching decisions that he was making earlier in the season. All of a sudden, these decisions make sense. Like I said, the 4th and 1, you had no problem with that because the bottom line was they lined up power run. We're going to give it to Derrick Henry. He's going to get us the 1 yard. He bounces outside, taking it for a touchdown.
Right.
That's what you want to see out of the team. Again, it goes back to what we've been saying. The game is just simple.
It's just that
you ain't got to use a lot of trickery.
No, you don't.
Just play good, solid football.
Because you get cute, that's when you get beat.
Yeah, exactly. Ask Pete Carroll.
That's right. Ask Pete Carroll.
Ask Pete Carroll.
Something else I want to point out, and I know you noticed it, and everybody else have, they've been watching the game, that Tannehill is really calling the plays at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
he's changing the the play. He's changing the blocking. Yep. So they've got confidence in him, knowing he can handle their responsibility. And some they didn't have confidence at first.
Right. And Tannehill, what he's doing, in all honesty, you got to give him his props because he's recognizing this as an opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Because he knows that Miami let him go. Yeah. I got an opportunity right now to play good football. I can play aggressive because I'm playing for a contract.
Right. Because this at the outlook was possibly his last stop to be a starting quarterback.
Exactly.
And if he couldn't do it in Tennessee,
he
probably couldn't do it anyway.
But again, like we also said, one of the things he also recognizes is that this team has a lot more talent than those teams he had in Miami.
That's right.
Where he may have had one or two playmakers on offense. He never really had a running game.
Right.
With this team, he's got a running game.
That's right.
The coaching staff is realizing Derrick Henry, what we said at the beginning of the year, he's the key to the team. You got to feed him, give him the ball, and he's running with a purpose, running hard, and making plays. Now, the bottom line is, he's your key. So, you got to take care of him. Because I was a little nervous earlier in the week when the practice they said he was limited because of a hamstring.
Yeah, and Taylor, you're right. It is a contract year, so that played into a lot of the way you play. But you can just see it's a difference ever since last year.
But look at it like this. Ever since he had that conversation with Eddie George last year,
hard. That's right.
He's been running hard because Eddie George told him the rumors you heard about them possibly trading you, that was a fact.
Yeah.
Eddie George told him, because you were leaving yards on the field, but what you see happening now is that he's not leaving yards on the field.
He's not, man. He is hitting the hole hard. He is getting 3-4 yards a pop and being content with those 1 and 2 yard carries until he breaks those big ones.
Right.
Like we've been talking about all year.
And the line is, again, they like run blocking. That's what they do. That's what they've been built for. Bottom line, you got a Michigan State guy at one tackle, you got a Michigan man at the other tackle. They want to run because that's the team they come from.
That's right.
They run the ball.
I agree with you, Will. 17 was taking notes.
Yeah,
he was taking notes on the bench when 8 was in the game and realized what to do and what not to do and what kind of talent he had around him. And the system that he was going to be in, and so man, it all
fits for him.
It fits, and it just looks like it's turning to be a well-oiled machine at this point.
Absolutely, I always say this though, like I tell everybody, I always pump the brakes.
Yeah, pump the brakes
because the bottom line is, while he was at Miami, there was a reason why they let him go.
It was a reason.
Now granted, one man's junk can be another man's treasure.
That's exactly.
I always tell people this all the time. You got to remember. The team that had Brett Favre first were the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
And they let him go. He went to Green Bay. He's a Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
So you never know.
That's a great point.
You never know.
That's a great point.
I'm hoping what we see out of Tannehill continues. Mm-hmm. You're hoping for that, but you got to remember there was a reason why Miami let him go.
Right, and his stats don't lie, but man, he controlled the game. He took care of the football except for the sack.
Well, think about it. He's being efficient.
He's being efficient. That's
what do we say? You got to be efficient in the passing game,
and you got to feed the beast.
You got to feed the beast. And like I said, he doesn't have to worry about trying to win the game on his own because he knows they got a man who can actually, one, he can consistently move the ball for the offense, and two, he can take it to the house if you're not careful.
That's right. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G. Witt. The Titans go away, walk off with a 31-17 victory, big division.
Taylor, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sometimes all it takes is one play. Yeah. And if we really want to go back to it, it could go back to that game against the Chargers.
That's right.
That goal line stance. That goal line stance.
Like we said against KC. Those little things that happen like that, man, can springboard the season to a whole nother level. And you see it.
All of a sudden, you get a goal line stand against the Chargers. You shut down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You get a block kick against Kansas City. Come on now.
You come out and you smash Jacksonville.
You smash Jacksonville, and all of a sudden now, and then you go to Indy. Yeah, the team is riding.
You exercise that demon.
You exercise that demon. Now all of a sudden you're playing solid football. And what I like about the team is the attitude. You win the game. You go in the locker room. Like, let's get ready for Oakland.
On to the next one.
Let's get ready for Oakland.
So let's look at Oakland today. They took a big one on the chin, 49 to the Chiefs. They fall to 6-6. They will love it. Everything to do, but everything to ruin the Titans' playoff chances.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a tough game. It's always tough going to the West Coast this time of year in particular. Yeah. Playing in the black hole. They're a tough football team. Josh Jacobs
is running the ball well.
Had 104 yards today. He went over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Top 5 in rushing. I think he's number 6, matter of fact.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a tough game going there. You got Derek Carr. Derek Carr throwing the ball all over the field. Like I said, they took it on the chin today, but we know that John Gruden is the guy that likes to throw the ball across the field. You know, with our secondary kind of banged up, he probably going to try to take advantage.
I think so too. But one thing about it, you notice today, the big thing for Oakland right now are their tight ends. They got 2 huge tight ends, 2 young, big tight ends.
Darren Ward.
Who are actually making good plays and everything. They got a strong fullback who can catch the ball out of the backfield. So they got a lot of good things going on. Their running game is solid.
Yeah.
The passing game is not that great because the wide receivers are not that great. But again, with our secondary being banged up, we got to see exactly what's going to happen because now you're down Adoree Jackson, you're down Malcolm Butler, and you know, granted the other guys have got to step up, but you got a DP who's got to finagle that defense to make that work. Him and Kerry Coons have got their work cut out for them because bottom line is you might as well count on probably Adoree Jackson is not going to be. You don't know how he's going to be for the rest of the week because he never came back in the game.
Right. You never know if he's going to come back next week. You never know if LaShawn Sims is going to be able to come back next week. But I think that's why you saw the different wrinkles from MVP today because he knew we were going to have some. Yeah. We got some injuries. We don't have a lot of depth in the secondary right now, so we had to manufacture some pressure to get those guys out of that from covering too long.
Right. We got to play hard. First of all, the bottom line is the Raiders are just like us. Yeah. You know, a lot of what they do depends on what's going on with Jacobs. Yeah. So we got to stop the run first. Yeah. Bottom line is we got to stop the run, and Jacobs is running the ball well, just like we're running the ball well. So they know it's gonna be a dogfight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Taylor, that's a great point. You get the monkey off your back, they believe they can win anywhere. You saw it as they walked off that field. You saw it in their faces. You saw, like you said, in the post game interviews. This team believes they have confidence that they can win anywhere, they can play anybody and match up with anybody and come out victorious.
And they're going to need that because, it gets no easier.
It does.
It gets no easier.
You got to go to Oakland this week, and you got
Houston
the next
coming
3.
here.
You got Houston, you got New Orleans.
You got New Orleans coming here.
That clinched the NFC South
Thursday
night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's a tough sled.
It gets no easier, man.
But I believe that if they continue to run the beast and he continues to feed,
that's gonna be the key.
Feast on the defense. I'm telling you, it's gonna look like it could be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing when you stop and look at it because it's a good opportunity. Yeah. But again, you got to win out. Yeah. Because again, the Browns did us no favors today because Pittsburgh won. Right. So really, the bottom line is, in order for us to make the playoffs, we got to win the division. In order for us to win the division, we got to win out. Right. And that's going to be tough to do.
Right. The Raiders, like you mentioned, they're 14th overall in the offense, 16th pass, 12th the rush. Yeah. Defense is a little suspect, but they play tough against the run, not against the pass, though. So it's going to be a tough game. They're going to take away the run. They're going to force us to throw the ball.
And they got good safety play.
And they got good safety play.
Don't play them cheap, man. Yeah. The Raiders are a good team. Don't play them cheap.
One game at a time. Right. 1 week at a time. Like you said, we wiped this one off the plate. Yeah. Now we focus on the Raiders.
You don't even celebrate this tonight. You go on because you got to go to the Raiders next.
Yeah.
You're right, Taylor. The Titans control their own destiny. If they win out, they're in. Bottom line, they're in.
I agree with you, Deion. Is this a snowball effect? The offense continues to produce and be productive, and it's continue to carry over. And you see what it's doing, actually. Yeah. It's carrying over to the other parts of the game.
Absolutely. And what you see, what you're seeing more than anything else, you're not seeing panic in the eyes when things don't go right.
Especially with the defense, right? When the offense is not scoring or the defense gives up a touchdown, they're like, okay, we're here. Offense can come back down and score like we saw today. Yeah. They did it twice. They spotted twice, right?
You see the confidence in them, so that's the good thing that you like to see.
So the Raiders again next weekend, tough matchup on the road. West Coast games always tough to go to the West Coast this time of year and play, and it's just gonna be a tough game, man. They got to be ready to play.
Yeah, and we have to figure out about the time for next week and how we're gonna do it for next week. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah. We thank you for the love, the support, the comments, the questions. Keep them coming, man. Halftime adjustments. Eddie on LG with.
Tighten up, baby.
Titans win today, 31-17.
I have to say it. I'm up here, man. I'm floating right now.
7-5, a game out of first. You know, Houston's playing the Patriots. Don't have an update on that score, but we know it's gonna be a tough game tonight.
We need to be Patriots fans, man.
The Jags lose to the Bucks today, 28-11, and of course the Colts are now 6-6.
They bench Foles, man.
Yeah, went back to Minshew
and the mustache, man.
The mustache,
and they still lost.
So. Hey man, like you said, we control our own destiny. We got 4 games left.
Next up is Oakland. We got to play them. Next up is
Oakland. We don't look past Oakland. Oakland in this next game. We don't worry about anything else at this point. But man, you know, it's good to see the football that the Titans are playing right now, and it's exciting. And man, you know, it's
again, this is NFL football.
It's NFL football.
It's NFL football.
And this is what you want to be doing this time of year.
Absolutely.
The Texans are up 7-3. So
thanks, Will.
So thanks, we appreciate that update. So again, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G Witt. We'll put something out about the game next week. Grover's gonna be on the road, so we'll put something out about the time and the date of when the show will be broadcast to you. But hey, man, but again, we love the comments. We thank y'all for the support. Keep them coming.
Don't forget to go on YouTube.
YouTube. If you can't get on Facebook, you got somebody who wants to see the show, tell them to go on our YouTube channel, /T Adjustments. You see these live shows on there. They're posted on there. As soon as we get through with this show, we download them. They're out there for you to look at, man. And we appreciate y'all.
Man.
Appreciate the love. And we'll see y'all next time with another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G Witt, Titans 31-17, 7-5. Playoff pushes on.
There it is.
It's December football, and it's meaningful football.
That's right.
So, hey, we'll see y'all next time.
Week, baby. Peace.